Hi guys, Jen here with Astrology and Earth Magic, and I am here to provide some astrological wisdom to guide us through this full moon in Scorpio that is coming up on Monday, May 12th. That's at 12:55 here Eastern Standard Time, and it's at 22 degrees 12 minutes of Scorpio. Now, this full moon promises to have all the intensity that we would expect from a full moon in Scorpio. So think of Scorpio as symbolized by the scorpion, and they will protect themselves. Those they love, they also protect. They can be deadly. So they are intensely passionate, they're protective, they're fiercely devoted, and cunning and vengeful if need be, yet with an eerily calm about themselves. If you know any people that are Scorpios, they always seem really calm, but there's something always smoldering within. It almost is what draws you to them. So, you never want to cross them because you just don't know. They are a water sign, but it's not a sign like Cancer that openly shows its emotions. This Scorpio will hold on to things and it will push them down and let it just fester. And then when you least expect it, they strike. So pretty much payback can be a bitch. So, keep good karma, like I always say, and because you can still rise out from the ashes of this unscathed. Just always keep your karma good. This full moon can play out in a couple of different ways. So first, what we're already seeing, especially here in the United States, is kind of like paranoia. You see that on the news all the time, and news broadcasters even. It's paranoia and rumblings of retribution and acts of vengeance. Retribution that could be stemming from, more and more information that might be coming out, perhaps, damning yet enlightening, kind of bubbling up to the surface. Very Scorpio. I just saw a headline actually that kind of telling about more information coming out about the JFK assassinations, like, 600,000 pages or something like that. So didn't get a lot out of the first one, but what could this mean? It could be something else coming to the surface. Mercury will be exact square to Pluto on this day as well. So along with the full moon, we have, this square to Pluto with Mercury. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and along with Mercury, it could potentially reveal the dirty underbelly. So this has a potential to go so deep that it can destroy some high-profile people. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing things come out. Now, Saturn will be conjunct Ceres, and that's a disciplined and structured union. Strategically, it's like making connections with all the right people, just knowing who to align yourself with, and those with similar objectives, and systematically you can bring down the opposition. And that is how this Scorpio can strike. This is one way we could see it. And I've already, again, seen in the news, one person from one political party changing to the other political party, because of views, I don't know, but for them, their objectives, what their thoughts of America align better with that party, and because the other party might be changing. And I think that we're seeing huge changes in both the parties, so I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Just switching political parties, crossing that political line, maybe voting a different way than everybody else is. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that, because I think crossing that political divide is going to actually bring people together, and it's going to be for the benefit of this nation. These unions can expose corruption also. Nobody wants to see corruption, even if it's in their own party. And I think that people are going to get sick of it, and they're going to try and expose it. So, right now it feels like the United States, I know, is in complete chaos, and this is one of the words that you hear all the time. We don't know what's going on with these tariffs. What are they gonna, how high are prices going to go? Deportations, what's going on with that? Everyone's up in arms about something. There's something for everyone to be pissed off about, pretty much. And I'm sure in these coming days through this weekend and early next week. Well, maybe the weekend's not going to be so bad, but I think it's going to really increase as we go into early next week. You know, I see the Pope just got chosen today. People will probably be protesting about that too. He's an American, so go America. So anyway, I think that what we are seeing with all the planetary placements and aspects happening above, we'll start to see things beginning to fall into place. So again, I think this is our real last kind of chaoticness that's going to come up with this full moon. And I think things are going to start making sense, and then things are going to be like, okay, now I see. So I just kind of let things happen, let things play out instead of going crazy. See how things fall. As with most things, as of late though, don't expect things to go down without a fight. So I'm sure there's going to be marches on here, there, everywhere, churches maybe, you know, now that there's a new pope, who knows? People find something to always complain about instead of just thinking positively. Anyway, the sun then will be in an applying conjunction with Uranus as well. So this is within 4 degrees and it's getting closer and stronger. So if the sun is in conjunction with Uranus, full moon and the sun, or the moon and the sun are opposite. So of course the moon will be opposing Uranus. So get ready to expect the unexpected. Pretty much the theme of this year, you know, that's what we've been saying all year. It's like expect the unexpected, and it's been happening. Rebelliousness, disruption, something big is about to happen. Something's in the air, something revolutionary. I think, you know, enjoy might be a calm weekend because I think things in the beginning of this week are going to get a little bit hairy. So full moons are about things coming to fruition, of course. It's like a climax. It's coming to a head. And what happens when things come to a head, there can be an eruption. So by this, it could be a revolution. It will ultimately be a change. But I think this change could positively, why does not sound right? But I think it will positively, yes, benefit our future. So try and welcome, you know, be open-minded, try and welcome these new opportunities that may come your way. You know, I know AI, people are scared of that, but I'll tell you what, when I'm searching for things on how to do things on the internet, it can come in really handy actually. Especially when you're foraging and stuff like that, and I have different things and I'm like, oh, tell me a little bit about this, and it pops right up, super easy. I mean, a lot of things are going to get crazy. Maybe we're going to have robots, but maybe they're going to be waiting on us hand and foot. Maybe they'll even fold our laundry and do the things that we don't want to do. So let's think positively about these new and, you know, things that may be coming our way for the future, these new innovations, revelations. Though it may sound easier than it will feel because the moon is in opposition to the sun, Uranus conjunction, of course. So it might have you filled with stress and anxiety, another, you know, somewhat scorpionic type trait that we think about when we think about the 8th house being kind of the Scorpio ruled house. So this can kind of feel almost like it's a pit in your stomach, and those I usually would advise you to pay attention to, but this one is really not based on intuition. It doesn't have, you know, Neptune involved in it. This is based on just fear or outright rebelliousness, giving into a sudden urge to act out. So you want to kind of really think before you act out. With Mercury also squaring Pluto, there may be deep-rooted interactions, you know, going for the jugular, you know, so you could be getting into things with friends, family members, you know, anybody, even, you know, people on the street. So there could be some deep-rooted interactions with people that you really just take out all your emotions on them. Arguments maybe with authority. Urges can manifest through, you know, all-consuming thoughts and festering emotions. Any full moon can have emotions on high, but remember, this is Scorpio full moon, so we pretty much are going to let that shit build up before we explode. There's jealousy, paranoia that can fill your thoughts and play emotional tricks on you. So be aware if you just are letting your thoughts take over and they're just going in crazy places. Remember what's going on as above. So this could allow you to create an unrealistic scenario, in your head, building things out that outlandish, that makes perfect sense to you, like, something that just like otherwise you'd be thinking that's crazy. And this could cause you added stress and anxiety. And of course, we have Jupiter getting into the mix. Will be coming into a square with the North Node. So you might have questions about personal relationship. Jupiter means well, but expansion can expand the good and it can expand the bad. So as much as Jupiter is usually that benefic planet, expansion can sometimes not be the greatest thing, especially if you're having these emotional issues that you're getting expanded on, because you could be, questioning these personal relationships that you might have, relationships with your superiors, bosses. You could be, do they like me? Am I doing a good job? Are they talking behind my back? Are my friends talking behind my back? So these are just those questions that might be popping up in your head and you just can't shake them for some reason. Jupiter will be coming into that square with the North Node, questioning your goals, thinking, is this really right for me? Did I make the right decision? Am I fitting in here? Am I, is my life settling the way it's supposed to be, or is this all just bullshit? So, then Jupiter will square Saturn and then Neptune, and expect those feelings to just crop up, and it could last a little bit because, until they all just, we have those right now in Pisces, but then they're all going to settle. Well, not Jupiter's going to be going into Cancer, but we have Neptune has now just moved into Aries. Saturn's going to be moving into Aries. Jupiter going into Cancer. Now these are all cardinal signs. Completion and then a restart to a whole new way of life, perhaps. The moon will be conjunct Juno. So I know I'm bringing a lot of the asteroids into this, but they really seem to just really, shed a lot of light on what's going to be going on. So the moon conjunct Juno, your desire, commitment is strong. You want a commitment. Those paranoid feelings going on, am I not going anywhere? What's going on with this relationship? You're going to have a lot of questions because you're going to want something serious. And this could be in your personal relationships, friendships, anything like that, but especially marriage, because Juno is about commitment as far as marriage goes. Unlike Venus, who's kind of like that relationshipy planet, it's more about love and beauty and all those things that are pleasurable, where Juno is about that marriage that unite. So it is wedding season, of course. So weddings are everywhere. So if you do have these things going on in your head, you can't get away from them, because you're going to be seeing them in the covers of magazines. You're going to be seeing commercials come up by things on the news, like wedding venues, things like that. We're probably going to be invited to some weddings. This is the time of year that everyone gets married. My last job, all about weddings. We were a limo service. So, it was everything wedding related. So things aren't going to work out like that, you want to be able to think outside the box, because not everything fits inside that box. Like, not every peg fits in the right shape hole. The sun will be conjunct Uranus, don't forget. So, and Juno and the full moon conjunct are in opposition. So we can see things develop in maybe a different kind of unconventional way, maybe. A way that all of a sudden makes sense, something that we never thought of. And we're like, okay, yeah, you know what? I think that's going to work. So, also don't forget Saturn, the planet of commitments, pretty much, and responsibilities, is still in Pisces at this time. So that once, conventional is now, a little bit strange. But for now anyway, because of course it's going to be moving into Aries. So with the sun conjunct Uranus, our goals may look a little bit different. Again, the North Node will be sextile to Uranus, so which can also bring a sudden and unexpected development, but that could help us on our path. Something that we didn't think of that could give us that boost to go where we want to go, to, and almost could feel like a karmic boost. So reminds me, especially if you're thinking about this in form of relationships, love relationships. So years and years and years ago, before I was married to my husband, I was out with a person I was dating, and we were at this bar, and we saw this couple come in, and they passed us by, went and sat down, and it was just something about it. I just couldn't. And I remember looking at the guy and the girl, and I was like, that guy should be with me. I had that just, and I'm with the person I was dating at the time. Of course, we weren't doing great, but anyway, not something you should think about. So fast forward, that was it. That was no talking, no nothing. I remember where he went, where he sat, how he sat, everything. So fast forward to I think it was about 2 years later, my brother-in-law had set me up on a blind date with somebody, and it ended up, when I went in, it was that guy from the bar. And I mean, we kind of looked at each other like we knew each other. We went outside and we talked a little bit, and we remembered seeing each other. We remembered everything about it. And it was like it was meant to be. It was like, why do I remember every move? Why does he remember every move? And yet we had nothing to do with each other. So if you are, and of course, long story short, too late. That's my husband now. So if you are just meeting somebody, if it feels different, if that new relationship kind of feels like you're almost coming home, you'll know it when you know, pretty much. And I know that my husband and I, we both felt it right off the bat. We were just together nonstop, and it was just calm and not uptight, not nervous. It was just calm, and it was just like coming home. So again, we still talk about it to this day, how strange it was that, something so short and just fleeting ended up being, like, do you ever think that we would be married for, and it's just a funny story. But I want to tell you guys, because I want you to be open to scenarios like this. Now, of course, my husband was very different from me at the time. Fishing, hunting, very different than what I was like, wearing heels, fancy, wanting to look pretty, wanting nice things in life. And now we both live out in the middle of the woods and are blissfully happy. I think I am anyway. So be open to it. Be open to something different. Venus now has an applying trine to Mars, and so that might make you go out looking for some fun and some action, perhaps, because Venus trine to Mars, that is that, especially with these both in fire signs. We have Venus that is in Aries, and then we have Mars in Leo. So this is about just that raw kind of passion. It just seems really hot and steamy. Can get very hot. So again, you want to be open to it. If it's not your type of person, something might be there. You never know. Full moon is square Pallas Athena. So you may be feeling a little bit guarded, or your partner may be, if you're the male in the relationship, because Pallas Athena is about that fierce, independent, feminine power. So you could be feeling that fierce independence because of some past traumas. If you had bad relationships, you could still be dragging that along. A Pallas in Aquarius is a visionary. So you can visualize maybe things being a little bit different. Visualize yourself as a strong, independent woman, but you can still have that other person, male, female, whatever, in your life as a bonus. And that was always my thing, that I was always strong and independent, And I always looked at my husband like a bonus, and now I look at him like he's my other half. So he's so much more than a bonus. So, you know, you want to leave what went wrong in the past and see a new future for yourself. It's okay if it looks different. Because obviously if it looks the same, it's not going to work. So even though right now there may be intense feelings you need to work through, feelings of, you know, going back, feelings of revenge, retribution, jealousy, resentment, keep your head about you and don't get sucked up by these negative thoughts, and especially don't get sucked up by what's going on around us. You know, you have your own life, you have your own home, your own kind of circle. So, you know, you have your own orbit. It doesn't have to be everything that's going on everywhere else in the world. You don't have to think like everyone else. You don't have to be like everyone else. You don't have to bring in all that negativity. Be your own orbit and bring and have just positivity orbit around you. This can be a very hot and sexy full moon, so use it to your best content, I guess you could say. So let's find peace, let's find forgiveness and understanding, and this is for your own mental health. So if you enjoyed this, then please hit the like button and also please subscribe. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up this month. So we are going to be taking some trips, and we are going to be traveling later this month and showing some astrocartography that has to do with it. We're going to be doing some horror-y, travel horror-y, and lots of fun. So I would definitely stay tuned for that. So hit the notification bell, and of course, comment. It helps the channel grow. So let's grow together, guys, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.